Now, for the last 8 years, the economy's giants of industry have been profiled in the annual business directory Top 500, South Africa's best managed companies. The publication is viewed as an essential reading by key decision makers in business and in government. This evening, for the very first time, leading companies from among the top 500 will compete for the grand honours at the inaugural Top 500 Awards, and it'll be taking place at Melrose Arch. On hand to applaud them, I should say, not employ them. Goodness me, we're hoping that they're the greatest employees. They will be a host of CEOs, government dignitaries, as well as VIPs. And the big prize is one of the companies will be crowned South Africa's best managed company. So to tell us more about the awards, we're joined by Ralph Fletcher, the CEO of Topco Media. Ralph, it is so nice to see you. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
So this is fantastic. So we're talking about an inaugural celebration that's taking place tonight. Why did you decide to go ahead with this?
Well, I think that for 8 years now we've looked at the best companies through a publication that reviews the top 5 organisations over 100 business sectors, and we really wanted to start pitting the best against the best. And so we looked at all the winners for the 100 categories, and we put them through a process of looking at 12 finalists or 12 awards over the economy.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is are we talking the best of the best?
Yeah.
When you say best of the best, is this biggest by turnover, biggest by employer? What are we looking at here?
Yeah. So there's many indicators that we look at. Obviously, we're looking at the best managed, so not just best in terms of turnover, but a whole lot of contributing factors. And I think that, one of them is obviously financial. Size plays a big role because, your size determines that if your customers are happy with you, they're going to keep on doing business with you. Yeah. So it certainly looks at that. It looks at profitability, and it looks at other productive indicators as well as policies and the people that they employ.
Yeah. I mean, I know that Topco, just to go back a little bit, Topco, you guys do quite a few of these celebratory awards, and where you recognise the best when it comes to women, different award ceremonies that you do have, National Business Awards. Topco, the formation of it, talk to us a little bit about the history of Topco.
Okay, so about 20 years ago, when obviously South Africa was a new democracy, I think there was a huge interest from organisations internationally to do business with South Africa. It was on their radar, and I think the key thing was, who do they do business with? And so we set about researching with Westgrow many years ago the top Western Cape top 300 companies, and I think it grew from there, not just looking at the listing and the top companies, but from now, we want to make sure that the case studies, the companies that are trailblazing, we share those case studies with other organizations. What we're seeing is that those organizations who compete and look at best practice are far more competitive, and I think that helps South Africa to really trailblaze as well internationally.
Yeah, I mean, when you mentioned what's so important is that we're looking at the best managed companies, and I mean, one of the big problems when you look at a big corporate world, it's somehow the managing of it falls within the cracks, and you find that your employees are not happy, they're dissatisfied because they feel their managers don't engage with them and things like that. So, I mean, are these all of the kind of aspects that you'll be looking at tonight? Because we've got 12 finalists, so I'm going to ask you in a short while who we're looking at, but just first that criteria of a well-managed company.
Yeah, look, a well-managed company is an organisation that is productive, obviously, that is using its assets, so its people are its assets, but other assets in terms of its cash, its properties, to the best of the ability and getting a good return for their shareholders. So these organisations are also best managed in terms of making sure their customers are happy. Yeah. So it's about customer engagement, it's about staff welfare and engagement, as well as making sure that they have a growth projection as well. So
good. So who are we looking at? I mean, who are the finalists for this evening?
Well, we have obviously 12 awards, and you've got 100 companies up for those 12 awards. But we have the overall award, and you're sort of looking at organisations like Zeda Investments, which represents PSG. You're looking at Anglo America. So many organisations that South Africans are very familiar with. Woolworths, they're another finalist in this. So, these organisations who are not just doing well in South Africa, I mean, Woolworths are taking on Australian retail, as well as Sasol, who have big foreign assets that they own and manage. Yeah,
huge. I mean, that's we're talking big here. Now, in terms of your dignitaries that'll be there this evening?
Yeah, I mean, we've got the Minister of Home Affairs, Malusi Gigaba. Yeah. And we have our main speaker is Asha Babat from EOH. Obviously, EOH are very renowned as Africa's top IT company.
Yeah.
So, and I think he's trailblazed in a very short period a very strong growth acquisition through the rest of Africa. So to hear his story, he was our National Business Awards Businessman of the Year this year, and he's on the cover of the latest Top 500. So we're very honoured to have him there talking to us tonight as well.
Fantastic. And then just finally, I mean, the company who's crowned basically the best managed, or the top, one of the top 500 companies, who, you know, what is people, I suppose, what is their mandate? I mean, what are you hoping that people will learn from them?
Yeah, I think there's many lessons to be learnt. So, and that's really it. I think that, you know, part of being awarded is they have an obligation as well to give back and to share some of their insights, case studies. And, you know, I love football, and so, you know, often growing up, I'd look at the best footballers, the Messis, Ronaldos, and try and emulate them. And I think that for a lot of South African organisations, they're looking to grow, they're looking to be better, and to have an organisation that is trailblazing, that's doing good things, we will share some of those insights on why they succeed and how they've done well. Yeah. And I think that's really the opportunity, is to be seen as a thought leader and a leader, trailblazer.
That is fantastic. Well, I wish you the best of luck with it, because it's exciting. It's a great venture. It's happening tonight for the very first time. So it's the Top 500 Awards taking place at Melrose Arch this evening. Ralph Fletcher, who is the CEO of Topco Media, he'll be there along with a lot of other CEOs and dignitaries. As you heard, Minister Malusi Gigaba will be there, and as well as a lot of other CEOs, which I'm sure is going to be a fantastic evening, and more importantly, celebrating the top managed companies in South Africa. Ralph, thanks again for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Great.